Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It's MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. We are so glad you joined us. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post in our studios in Concord, North Carolina, and we appreciate you joining us here today. Well, obviously, if you're tuned into this, you're a sprint car fan, and you know we spend a lot of time on this program with happy memories and great victories. Sadly, today is not one of those, as one of our World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Car Series drivers lost his life on Saturday night in a crash at Beaver Dam, talking about Jason Johnson. Erin Evernham alongside, and Erin, just sad story of Jason's crash and death.
Such a sad story. I've known Jason, met him in 2002. I have a vivid memory of meeting him and his crew at the Days Inn in Bradenton, Florida, outside of East Bay. And even then, I was so new to 360 racing. He was helpful. His crew was helpful. You know, I've been acquaintances over the years. I've gotten to know his wife, Bobby, well, and his son, Jax, and just such a tragedy and such a loss for our sport. It
is absolutely amazing when we think about it from the sport, but then also from the family. I want to, one of, if not the highlight on the racetrack of Jason's life was the 2016 Knoxville Nationals from a racing perspective. What a night, that epic battle with Donnie Schatz. But you shared a picture this morning on your social media with your daughter, Kate. You have even a more special memory of that day and that whole experience.
Yeah, one of our favorite things to do at Knoxville is to go visit everyone when they're working out in the parking lots during the day. And Jason's crew guys and Philip, his cousin, who was his crew chief, were so good with us. And Ray and I spent a bunch of time there. And they were actually greasing the torsion bars. And Kate was, only a year old, and she was fascinated with the torsion stop. And she has it in her hand in that picture. So after he won that night, the crew guys sent it. We're like, we think we were the good luck charm, and yeah. I almost asked them if I could have that torsion stopped, for her memory book. But certainly special memories, and his family has always been super sweet with us and Jax, with Kate. They're just wonderful people.
When we think back on even just a few weeks ago, we were at the Jackson Nationals, and Jason joined us on the stage. And I think the thing that struck me about our conversation, and it didn't take long for him to prove, was his level of optimism about the performance of his race car and how he felt. At the time we interviewed him was before the first prelim night on Thursday, and he was kind of like, we're this close to getting a win. We're so strong, we're going to get a win. We had the privilege of watching Jason win twice that weekend and then finish second to Donnie Schatz. On track-wise, man, his performance this year, with a lot of changes within the team from a structure, from a financial standpoint, he was on his A game. His performance on that race team was amazing.
Absolutely. And one thing I loved about Jason was we talked to a lot of drivers on the show, and you get some that are emotional, and you can almost tell when their confidence is down or they're struggling. But I feel like every time we had Jason on, he was so intense and so focused on winning and making the right changes. Like, I always felt there was a positive attitude, and that was cool. We talked to him on Thursday night, and then he goes out and wins Friday and Saturday during the day. And I have clear memories of him and Jax in Victory Lane doing the wing dance. That
wing dance, absolutely amazing. It truly is. So sadly, Jason Johnson is no longer with us. 5-time Lucas Oil ASCS national champ, 2015 World of Outlaw Rookie of the Year. We talked about that 2016 Knoxville Nationals. What a memory, what a night. Many claiming the best ever Knoxville Nationals when he, for lack of a better term, tugged on Superman's cape and went up and took the Knoxville Nationals from Donnie Schatz. 2018 had 2 wins this season as well. Just really an amazing guy. And we're going to spend the bulk of this show talking about that on the Sage Fruit guest line. Dear friend of his and fellow competitor Shane Stewart going to join us, and then Steve Beitler, who just amazing, the sprint car family, how Shane and Steve's lives joined years and years ago when Steve was a racer. So just some great stuff. We're going to share some great memories. So stay with us. Shane Stewart joins us in just a moment.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa is proud to announce their feature exhibit for 2018, the Salute to Champion Brian Clausen. Open May 1st through October 1st. See the race cars Brian Clausen drove during his illustrious racing career and the trophies, uniforms, and memorabilia Brian amassed while driving sprint cars, midgets, Indy cars, and NASCAR. The Salute to Champion Brian Clausen exhibit, only at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, located in Turn 2 at Knoxville Raceway.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt late model have taken the checkered flag on Weld Racing Wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld Racing Wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld Racing Wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing. Proven speed.
O'Reilly. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $28.95 and get a $10 O'Reilly gift card by mail. Protect your engine from sludge and wear with Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Find Wing Nation on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and in the MRN.com Media Center.
Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post, joined on the Weld Racing hotline by driver of the number 2 car from Kyle Larson Racing. Shane Stewart's on the line. Shane, how you doing, buddy? Yeah.
Sorry.
I know. It's I can't imagine. Just can't even imagine, and that's kind of where we're all at with this, and you know, absolutely amazing.
I told myself I was going to try not to do this.
It's all right. We're all good. We're all good. I think we've all been
right.
doing a lot. We've all been doing a lot of that over the last couple of days, and I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Can't imagine what it's like.
No, the support that Jim and I have received from everybody is just been unbelievable.
Yeah.
And of course, our thoughts are the family, and it's just going to be a big adjustment that we all have to make, and you know, it's just you question a lot of things. Last really not fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Shane, you knew Jason for a long time. You raced ASCS with him and raced in Australia.
Pardon me?
I was just saying, you know, your history, as far as I know, with Shane goes way, way back to your trips to Australia, to ASCS racing, to 360 racing. You know, we've started to talk a lot about him off the track, but on the track, he was always such an intense, really clean driver. Just talk about, if you're up for it, you know, some of your on-track memories and just him as a driver.
I think we've lost connection.
Yeah,
I think we've lost connection there, and I think that kind of.
I'm sorry, you guys are breaking up on me.
That's we're kind of getting.
Hang on just a minute. I'm actually driving in the road here. I'm gonna get to an exit and pull off.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just give you a little bit.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okay.
No, it's all good. You know, Erin, when we think about the sprint car family, and we talk about, you know, we're going to talk to Steve Beitler in a little bit. It always amazes me how, you know, you remember Bradenton, Florida. We're talking about Australia. We're talking about. I mean, it's just the sprint car family travels all over the world, and yet. And that's the thing. I was at Skagit, and it's so strange to run into people. People come up to me and say, "Yeah, I was on Fred Raymer's crew."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing in Skagit, Washington? And you have all of these relationships that are absolutely amazing.
And it's neat. You won't see someone for a long time. And the sprint car community is, to people who aren't involved, they don't even understand it. But it's such a special community. When I came and raced pavement for years and went back to sprint cars, it was like everyone in the pit area was like, it was hugs. And I don't know. It's just, it's just such a special, close community.
It is. It is an amazing family. It really is.
I'm back with you. I'm
back with us. Okay.
Darn.
Jason Johnson, the competitor, the racer. Shane, is there a memory or something, or what stands out to you as far as Jason as a racer?
Oh man, there's lots of memories. Obviously, a lot of them that I got to witness. That good memories. Obviously, the biggest one was him winning Knoxville. I got to see him win it the last several laps of that race, as everybody's been posting videos of it. You actually kind of forget how good of a race that was to come down to the wire with him and Donnie, and to be a close third. To see your good buddy win a race like that was really special. Another good memory that stands out is him getting hurt at Placerville, coming back the next year and winning. That was really big. And like you guys were mentioning, like I've raced with Jason for a long, long time. We used to have some good battles trying to run for the title with the ASCS, and actually came down to the last couple of races when I was racing with Paul for the championship with Jason, and raced with him in Australia. And so I've known Jason for a long, long time, but the last 3 or 4 years, we've, gotten really, really close just with our families and Jax and Nixon and a lot of good memories for sure.
Shane, we're talking about Jason as a competitor, but you just mentioned that you spent a lot of time with him on the road, away from the track. It seems to me that Jason at the track could come across as intense and focused, and people didn't always see his lightheartedness and his jokes. But away from the track, which I'm sure you can share with us a little bit, he was a pretty fun guy and certainly a family man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he loves his family. As everybody knows, you're with your family 24/7. It's not like you have a day job where your wife goes and works her job, and you go and work yours, and then you come back together at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever it might be, and have dinner and then get up and do that again. Like, we don't have that normal lifestyle. So you spend a lot of time with your family and friends in your racing community. And, he was definitely a strong family man. He was great with Jax, and obviously loved Bobby. And I got to see that firsthand. And definitely a really cool guy. He always, one of the cool things that he always did, he always had a quote of the day. And it would never fail. I'm going through a rough time racing, and I always kind of knew that if I went through a stretch where I was struggling a little bit, that I was going to wake up to a message from Jason to keep your head up. So little things like that I'll definitely cherish.
I think actually when we talked to him at Jackson, he referenced a quote of the day or something that really struck out that was really moving and motivating him along the way. Shane, I can't imagine, before we cut you loose here, memorial service tomorrow night, getting back on the track at Knoxville on Friday night. This is a big old family. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tears and a lot of hugs over the next few days for everybody.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. Obviously seeing your friends that you race with up and down the road, and to remember the great life that Jason had. The picture, I don't know who posted it, but there's a picture where he's helping Steve Beitler mount a tire, and to know like how he traveled there, start working, to see him progress through the ranks, to build what we would call a sprint car empire, to be able to compete at the highest level of sprint car racing, to see him go through those steps. He lived a great life. Obviously, passed away doing something that he loved, and that means a lot to me. And yeah, he's going to be missed, no doubt. But tomorrow's going to be really good for everybody. I know it's going to be good for Jason's family to have friends around, and like you said, lots of hugs and probably a lot more tears, but good tears. They're not. These aren't sad tears. These are good tears. So it'll be good to spend a little bit of time with everybody. Good
tears, that's for sure. A great life, as you just referenced it. Shane, I hate when we have to call somebody and ask them to come on to have one of these shows. We appreciate you sharing a little bit of your memories of Jason, and we certainly wish you the best over the next few days as you continue to process all of the activities. But appreciate your time here today.
No problem. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
There we go. The always classy Shane Stewart joining us here. He mentioned Steve Beitler, that picture of Jason and Steve Beitler. We're going to talk to Steve in just a moment.
The American Sprint Car Series is back for its 27th year. Whether you're catching the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour at tracks like Williams Grove, Skagit Speedway, Knoxville Raceway, Lucas Oil Speedway, or any of the 6 regional tours across the United States, you'll find the ASCS Nation racing at a track near you. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram today. Then see the full schedule, track-by-track history, updates, and more at ASCSRacing.com.
Looking for custom racewear and embroidery? Do you want your race fans to represent your race team with trendy original apparel? Contact Classic Ink USA, the new standard in custom screen printing and embroidery. Located in Greater Pittsburgh, Classic Ink USA's professional staff utilizes state-of-the-art facilities to transform your ideas into an attractive wearable piece. From custom track swag racewear to trendy quick crew wear, Classic Ink handles it all. Find out how you can get started. Contact Classic Ink USA screen printing and embroidery at the track and on your back.
O'Reilly. If your AC isn't cold, head over to O'Reilly Auto Parts during Murray AC Month for a 20-ounce can of AC Pro R134A refrigerant with a gauge and hose on sale for $34.99. Cool your AC system in 3 easy steps with a can of AC Pro at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Shane Stewart, and you're watching MRN's Wing Nation. I'm with Steve Post and Erin Evernham. Evernham. All right, I'll start right now. This is Shane Stewart, and you're watching MRN's Wing Nation on MRN.com with Steve Post and Erin Evernham.
Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Going back to the Weld Racing Hotline. He's a former racer, a promoter at Skagit Speedway, where they just wrapped up an incredible weekend. And from a social media post, quite the relationship with Jason Johnson. Steve Beitler's on the line. Hello, Steve. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hi, Steve. How you doing this morning?
We're doing all right. Steve, you posted the and we just had Shane Stewart on, and he just referenced it as a matter of fact. Shane, Shane just mentioned it along the way. Jason Johnson, how did you meet him? How did you get hooked up with him?
Well, back in spring of '94, I was racing down in Devil's Bowl, or one of the tracks in Texas that spring, and apparently he'd come up and asked me for a job, and I kind of blew him off a little bit and told him he was still in school. When he got out of school, just come find me, and left it at that. And lo and behold, in June, I was pulling into the pits at Williams Grove Speedway, and the lady at the pit gate said, "Hey, some kid's here looking for you." And I said, "Yeah, okay." Well, they didn't think nothing of it. Got down and rolled into my pit stall, and this skinny little guy come walking up to me and says, "Do you remember me?" And I said, "No." He said, "Well, I'm Jason Johnson from Louisiana." And he said, "You told me to come find you when I got out of high school to go to work for you." And it just shocked me because basically, make a long story short, the guy took all his graduation money and bought a one-way ticket to Pennsylvania and went to work for me and showed up there. And, turned out to be a fantastic worker. The guy had great work ethics and was really happy to have him on board.
Steve, what has it been like for you to see someone who started a relationship with you so many years ago, started from scratch, a one-way, train ticket to come be your crew guy, and then you see him start having success with ASCS, and then moving on to the Outlaws, owning his own team, winning Knoxville. Like, what has it been for you, for you to watch all this and know that you helped him kind of get a little start?
I was so darn proud of Jason. I was popping my buttons, you know. When he worked for me that first year, at the end of the year, I run out of motors, and he got a chance to go home and drive a car for John Bankston. And I said, get down there and get racing. That's what you want to do. And, you know, he called me that winter, and he was so proud and so happy because he got hired by Steve Kinzer Racing. And I was really happy for him because, you know, when he worked for me, we were a pretty low-budget team, and I really tried to teach him how to maximize everything you had, from parts to opportunities to relationships, and how to really take care of sponsors. And then to see him go to work for a team like Steve Kinzer, where it's completely the other end of the spectrum, I knew he was going to get a great education. But, you know, we stayed in touch, you know, all the time throughout his career. And when he started racing with ASCS, and when he won his first championship, and then I was with him down in Kokopah the last time he won the championship with ASCS, and he pulled me off the side and he goes, "Hey man, I'm gonna kind of follow your footsteps." And I said, "What are you gonna do?" He says, "I'm putting together a deal to go run with the World Outlaws next year." And, you know, and he was pretty proud to be able to tell me that. And, you know, to watch him put his own team together and build it, you know, and he doesn't come from a background of a lot of money, but he hustled all the deals. He brought all the right people together, from people with haulers, with people with motors. He put the whole thing together and managed it. And then to see him win the Knoxville Nationals that year, I was in tears, man. I literally ran down to the podium and pushed my way through the crowd to get to him and give him a big hug. I was just so darn proud of him.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Steve, I cannot imagine what your weekend was like. As those that follow along on social media know, the Dirt Cup was this weekend, and I am telling you, and I wish we had called to talk about a spectacularly successful event. That's what you had. I cannot imagine what your Saturday night high was like after pulling off a phenomenal Dirt Cup weekend, and your Saturday overnight, Sunday morning low was like. What was that like for you?
It was pretty tough, you know. Dirt Cup's a big event for us, and my whole team up here worked so hard to put that thing together, and, you know, it just clicked. I mean, the weather was good, the car count was good, the racing was just phenomenal, and I was told partway through the night that Jason had been hurt pretty bad, and it upset me. And I went and found my friend Jim Shepard. He's our local Racers for Christ chaplain, and Jim and I got together and talked a little bit, had a prayer for him, and then we went on with the rest of the night. And the last post I saw that night after the races were over, Bobby posted that he made it to the hospital. His heartbeat was good. And, you know, it sounded kind of promising, and I knew he was going to be hurt. But next morning about 7 o'clock, my girlfriend woke me up. She said Jason didn't make it, and it was pretty tough.
Pretty tough indeed.
It was just I just couldn't believe it. I sat up in bed and I said, "What? You got to be kidding me!" You know. And she showed me the deal on her phone. She pulled it up, and it was a pretty tough day. I got to tell you, Sunday was going from the highest of highs from Saturday night to losing Jason Sunday morning was just really very, very tough day. That's for sure.
Tough day indeed. Steve, we appreciate all of your passion for the sport. We love what you do. I need to tell you, it's weird to talk like this, but I had the most incredible time at Skagit. You do such a wonderful job there, and but I appreciate you sharing today on Jason Johnson and his life. Thanks for joining us here today on Wing Nation.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm glad you made it out here, Steve. You're always welcome to come back, and maybe next year you can bring Erin with you.
That's right. We'll work on that. We'll work on that. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Steve Beitler, promoter of Skagit Speedway. More in just a moment.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing. Sage Fruit has been a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the last 15 years and a proud partner of Wing Nation for the last 3 years. We love sprint car racing, and we are there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in designing and manufacturing purpose-built, application-specific hydraulic cylinders with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger, crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. AggressiveHydraulics.com.
This is Terry McCarl, and you're watching MRN's Wing Nation on MRN.com.
It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. I need to cover a little bit of racing action here. Classic ink, screen printing, embroidery, hot topics. How about Paul McMahon? Wasn't that something?
So happy for him.
Yeah, I mean, you just so many people had written him off, and he is your 2018 Arctic Cat All-Star Circuit of Champions, Ohio Speed Week champ. I am telling you, watching Seth Bergman race, I've watched him a little bit over the years, and you watch some Racing Boys videos. This cat's the real deal. He can wheel a race car. Picked up the preliminary night on Friday, but he cashed the $15,000 check for the Jim Raper Memorial Dirt Cup at Skagit. Man, that dude is a real race car driver. He is phenomenal. And how about this? The Northern Outlaw Sprint Association, they had 4 races, so they were busy. Wayne Nygaard won a couple of them, and Mark Dobmeyer won a couple of them as well. So there you have it, your Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. You can find out more at www.classicinkusa.com. National Sprint Car Hall of Fame birthday calendar. Yesterday, Doug Ald. Today, Tim Schaefer. They'll be going Aliquippa in Aliquippa, I'm sure. Kramer Williamson, Randy Hannigan. Tomorrow, Kenny Gritz and Lloyd Axel, Johnny Anderson on Thursday. Bobby Ward, Keith Huffman, Skip Jackson, and Jerry Stone birthdays later this year. Of course, SprintCarHof.com. That's www.SprintCarHof.com. Coming up, the Aggressive Hydraulics calendar. Greg Hodnett going to join us on Thursday with our Wing Nation weekend program presented by Hefner Racing Products, setting us up for Pennsylvania Speed Weeks. So they're getting ready to get busy up in the Keystone State. And on Saturday, Fred Raymer will join us on MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. So 8:30 and 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So a lot coming up. That's the Aggressive Hydraulics upcoming calendar. As we roll back into the Jason Johnson tragedy, his death this weekend, I think we've seen so much go on. So many outreaching ways to do it. And those of you watching the video, you can see on the screen, the World of Outlaw Benevolent Association has a GoFundMe account, and the Steve King Foundation also raising money. I like Lauren Stewart's idea. She has the idea, and Lauren was the fiance of Brian Clausen, so she certainly knows maybe a little bit more than the rest of us do what Bobby is going through. Her idea was to send pictures and stories for a scrapbook type thing. I really like that idea.
Absolutely. Certainly for Jax and for Bobby, years down the road, they're not going to remember anything when people are talking to them now. They're still in shock and processing it, but to savor those memories will be special. Yeah,
because, I mean, so many stories are going to be told at the memorial service, and as Bobby and Jax run into people along the way, so many stories are going to be told, but a lot of that is likely going to be a blur. And so if you have a special story, and you can just follow Lauren Stewart's on Twitter or the race shop in Rocky Mount, Missouri, you can just send those memories. And whether Bobby puts them in a scrapbook or puts them in a bin or puts them wherever, that way they have those memories, and probably pretty neat for Jax as well. Memorial service tomorrow night, Jason Johnson's race shop, Rocky Mount, Missouri. That begins at 6:30. Jax says it's going to be a party. So I can't imagine a 5-year-old boy lost his daddy this weekend. And so it's going to be a party. But I can't imagine. Erin, just your final thoughts on this.
The thoughts, our prayers are certainly with Jax and Bobby and the entire family and all the racing community.
I think about Jax, that wing walk that he got to do so many times with his father. Just breaks your heart. It really does. Breaks your heart. Thanks for joining us here today on MRN's Wing Nation.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. Wing Nation can be found on demand at MRN.com, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.